a big round of applause. You all have been doing an outstanding job. I've been in contact with your teachers and talking to your principal, and I am very, very pleased with the work that you've been doing. And we have a big job ahead, boys and girls. As you know, we need to learn how to read and how to write. We need to also know about the mathematics, and we also have to learn about English. You have a big job. The teaching staff here, the principal here, has a big job. As you know, the state is demanding more and more from its children. You is demanding the fact that you now need to pass some benchmarks before you can go on to the 4th grade. If you don't, then you may be at risk of retention. That means you have to repeat the 3rd grade again. We don't want to have anyone repeat the 3rd grade again. Also, as you go on to the middle grades, there's a lot of demands there as well. But a big test, which will come many years from now in your mind, but not that long as far as the parents are concerned, it's called the high school exit exam. That means now that you have to pass a proficiency test. That means you have to pass a test in reading, writing, and mathematics. Because if you don't, by the time you are a senior, you may not receive a diploma. So all of the things that you do in the classroom are very important because they're supposed to make you proficient and ready for your next grade level. So this afternoon, we're going to recognize achievement. I like to say that we're recognizing hard work. But sometimes, some of us work real hard, but we don't get those high marks that will qualify you for the honor roll. Don't lose heart. Keep working hard, because sooner or later, you're going to be able to be on that honor roll list. But one of the things that I did set out to do, and I worked it out with Mr. Peterson, that we have a lot of awards we're going to be handing out, from the honor roll to the math club. This year, for the first time, we're handing out some rosettes. I hope you have your rosettes here. You do? Good. For those students that have achieved the math club. As you know, math club means that you have to be proficient in addition, subtraction, and multiplication. It's early in the ball game, so I understand we may only have one. But you know what, boys and girls? Next quarter, I'd like to see 20, 30 of you come up and get this big, beautiful rosette, the blue one that's right here in front of Mrs. Hatter. And then we also have attendance awards and a variety of others. So that goes to one student that has already mastered the addition, subtraction, and multiplication math facts and has been able to get 300s in a row and do that in 4 minutes or less. That's great. So next quarter, how many of you are going to get that rosette? Raise your hand. That's what I like to see. So at this time, thank you very much for allowing me to come up here and say a few words. So now we're going to go ahead and turn it over to your principal, Mr. Peterson. Thank you.
We've got a lot of stuff to do in a very, very short period of time. But before we get started, this is new. We've never. If you are in Mrs. Salmonson's room, over to the last group, you guys stay right where you are. Everybody else scoot over a little bit because we want to have an aisle right on the. You guys stay right where you are. Back. Mrs. Salmonson's group, keep on. Scoot. 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 Thank you for mopping our floor. Keep going. There you go. Perfect. Okay, I need your focus back up here. David, Michael, can you guys scoot over? We have a little aisle down the middle. Quick snapshot so that we can get going to the next awards. We appreciate you waiting just a minute to do that. We're going to start today with our Falcons of the Month. And in order to get the Falcon of the Month, you need to give you the award. We'd like you to walk over here and line up in 2 rows, and then we'll invite the parents to come up and take a picture. Are you ready? Some of these awards were already given out because they were the September awards, but we're going to give out and recognize the September and October awards kids. So if you don't get a folder, that means you already got it in September. So we're going to start. We're going to do one great big clap. Let's practice. If I said, Mr. Reyes. That was wimpy. We got to try that one again. Mr. Reyes. There you go. I bet you he feels pretty good when you hear your name like that. So I want you to work really hard. And the other thing I want to remind you, these kids have worked very hard, so let's not take their recognition away. Okay, everybody give them a great big clap. From Mr. Hatter's room, Mrs. Hatter's room, Linda Herr. From Miss Spender's class, Jennifer Aguirre. From Miss Stevens' class, Yer Vang. From Miss Williams' class, Edwin Felix. From Miss Salmonson's class, Michael Page. From Miss Jennings' class, Valerie Ramsey. From Mrs. Vang's class, Jonathan Arredondo. You know what? If they're not here, we'll figure that out. Okay? From Mrs. McKinney's class, Chrissy Ogle. And you notice something? None of them have a certificate. That's because they already received them. Okay? And standing right in front of them are October Falcons of the Month, Timmy Berry. Wait a minute. That was wimpy. We're going to try that one again, because that's not like the Falcons I know. Timmy Berry. There you go. From Miss Spender's class, Tony Vang. From Miss Stevens' class, Christian Yang. From Miss Williams' class, John Thor. From Miss Salmonson's class, Janessa Cage. From Miss Jennings' class, Robert Shantarian. From Mrs. Vang's class, Brittany Davis. From Mrs. McKinney's class, Christy Aguirre. And that's it. And we would like, if you would, as parents, would like to come up and take a picture. But before we do that, if you have a folder, would you step in front? If you're an October Student of the Month, would you step in front? So this is even a higher award than the Spartan of the Month, or the Student of the Month. Our Spartanian Award is for a student who shows character in all areas of mind, body, and spirit. That means they're a great student, a scholar, they work hard out in the playground, and they have good pride in themselves and their school. And we'd like to recognize them. In Miss Hatter's classroom, would you give one great big clap to Timmy Berry? From Miss Spender's class, Carrie Silvera. In Miss Stevens' classroom, Taylor Taggett. In Miss Williams' classroom, Emily Vang. In Miss Salmonson's classroom, Lacey Setensich. In Miss Jennings' class, Rebecca Long. In Mrs. Vang's classroom, Andrea Marcino. In Miss McKinney's classroom, Jordan Caglia. And while they're coming on up, parents, if you'd like to come up and take a picture, please feel free to do so. Boys and girls, our Spartans of our player was late, we're lazy, like me. And some of you did a great job and spent a lot of time with books. And 2 students are being awarded the Diving into Reading Summer Reading Award. And we'd like to recognize them at this time. From Miss Hatter's classroom, would you give one great big clap to Jennifer Harrington? Boys and girls, we don't need to shout names out, okay? That's why we give one great big clap. Our next award is, that was a gold medal award. Our bronze award goes to a student in Mrs. Jennings' room, and that's Robbie Shatarian. Robbie's going to come up with shoes on, right? If we have anyone who wants to take a picture, feel free to come up and do so. We want to. And once again, this is one of the most challenging and toughest awards to get. But we hope before the end of the year, every single one of you have a rosette that says Math Club on it. And so far, only one student has attained the math award, and that is a student from whose class? Mrs. Stevens' class, and that's Taylor Taggett. Taylor, come on over here. You get to stand all by yourself. We are very proud of you, young lady. Come out and take a picture if you feel like you do. Let's give Taylor a great big round of applause. Thanks, Mr. Ed. I didn't say what college, though. Our next award today is perfect attendance. And boys and girls, we have a lot of students out there that are talking, Mr. Johnson, of all. You're interrupting me right now, and that's very rude. Okay? We have a lot of students that are going to be receiving this award. So we need to give one clap. And we're very pleased that there are students with a 3.3 or up to 3.59 GPA. That's a grade point average. That's math stuff. You'll learn about averages really, really soon. The following students, would you please come up? We're going to give you one great big clap. Jennifer Aguirre, Antoinette Beard, Dylan Ellison, Rogelio Galvin, Andrew Gastello, Alyssa Gaynor, Fatima Lozano, Aaron McFall, Destiny Nicasio, Richard Perez, Clarabelle Perez, Ashley Sanders, Raul Soto, Kyle Stahl, I got Kyle, didn't I? Okay, Cody Tao, Pang Vang, Andy Vang, Sabrina Williams, Ricky Yang, Christian Yang, and Alex Yang. Parents, if you'd like to come up and take a are the High Honors Awards, and that's for students with a 3.6 to 3.99. That's almost perfect. If you have a folder in your hand, if you just close that real quick. Get your eyeballs back up here, please. Thank you very much. Would you give a one clap for Christy Aguirre, Jay Arce, Jonathan Arredondo, Carson Blanco, Nathan Bright, Gabby Bruno, Jordan Caglia, Ernest Carter, Gregory Cisneros, Jasmine Cooper, Drew Cox, Brittany Davis, Eric Delgado, David Fierro, Anthony Forche, Peter Garcia, Jennifer Harrington, Linda Herr, Xavier Heights, Nikki Hadagi, Janessa Cade, Gabriel Lee, Spencer Lividang, Shani Mack, Amajat Manga, Jacob Newton, Chrissy Ogle, Michael Page, John Perez, Valerie Ramsey, Lucy Rodriguez, Lacey Settensick, Carrie Silvera, Daniel Smith, Tony Bang, Emily Bang, Brianne Wilson, Molly Wyrick, Brianna Zapata. If you were in the front row, if you would go down on one knee. Late. We have one last set of awards to give out. So I need everybody back with me. Every eyeball looking up here. Take your folder, put it in your lap. Don't look through it. I know there's lots of neat stuff in there. All eyeballs back up here. The last award is the Principal's Honor Award. And that is for all A's, all outstandings on your report card. And that's very, very hard to do. But you can all do it if you really put your mind to it. So the following students are receiving the Principal's Honor Roll. From Mrs. Jennings' classroom, I'm sorry, I will just name them as they come. By alphabet, Taylor Andrus, George Barraza, Timmy Berry, Ashley Anesto, Rebecca Long, Courtney Lowen, Andrea Mercino, David Peters, Robbie Shatarian, Tao Tang, Taylor Taggett, and Nicole Vargas. As you can tell, this is a very hard award to attain. Parents, come on up, take pictures if you'd like to do so. This is a very, very difficult thing to do, and in order to do that, you have to get your homework done every night. You have to get your schoolwork done every day. You have to turn around and pay attention at assemblies. So you work hard, you can all attain this, but you gotta put your best foot forward every day. And you may quickly and quietly go back to your seat.
Great job.
Oh, you call me Chunky Cheese? You guys can go back to your class tomorrow to see your parents. Can you guys go over?
And keep up the good work. And I think he should be with the perfect house. He tears up stuff. On a good schedule.
Okay, hold it up.
Principals aren't on it. Puppy, can you see Bubba?
He's okay.
Tata, you will have some new words. Hi. Hi, darling.